We're going to be spending on a subject, relationships and making money. I'm not proud of what I'm going to tell you, but I've spent probably $10 million dating in the last 10, 12 years. When you're an entrepreneur and you're on the come up, what's the right thing and wrong thing to do? Because when you start making money, it's very easy to enable somebody. And once you've enabled somebody, you can never correct it. How do you work around a spouse, whether it's a girlfriend, boyfriend, or a family member? The next thing we're going to talk about is how do you work if you don't have that? Like some people go, well, I don't have a family, a girlfriend or boyfriend. Great, because you can set up your boundaries now. And then what do I do if I don't feel like I have a work-life balance? We all come from very longevity in marriages, but if someone doesn't contribute to the health of your mindset and allow you to get the job done, you have got to dismiss them. So it's all about having the mindset of being healthy when you're building your business. So let's get started. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast with Anthony Powell. I'm excited to be here with all of you today, and we're going to be spending time on a subject for a lot of you. It is very touchy. It's relationships and making money. For guys, it's with your girlfriends. Women, if you're watching this, it's how to have a boyfriend or a husband at the same time of making money. It's a very important thing here. Guys think differently than girls. Girls think differently than guys. And I'm going to talk about, because I'm not proud of what I'm going to tell you, but I've spent probably $10 million dating in the last 10, 12 years. And I'm going to write a book about it. When you're an entrepreneur and you're on the come up, what's the right thing and wrong thing to do? Because when you start making money, it's very easy to enable somebody. And once you've enabled somebody, you can never correct it. You just got to get rid. You got to stop what you're doing and start all over again. And we'll discuss what that means. So number one is, how do you work around a spouse, whether it's a girlfriend, boyfriend, or a family member, or if you have a family, if you have one. So let's talk about that. The next thing we're going to talk about is how do you work if you don't have that? Like some people go, well, I don't have a family, a girlfriend or boyfriend. Well, great, because you can set up your boundaries now. And then what do I do if I don't feel like I have a work-life balance? So let's get started. First off, I hate to break it to you, and I'm really glad that I do get to break it to you. You're gonna have to work your ass off. There's an old saying, people say, well, shouldn't I be working smarter than harder? Yeah, you're gonna get to that point. You'll work smarter than harder. But in the beginning stages of a business, you're gonna have to work your brains out. And for some of you, that screams you out immediately. But guys, what are you gonna do? Work 40, 50 years of your life and end up broke? You know how many people end up working think about this. You've given up every single day and every single week to end up 30, 40, 50 years fucking broke. Can you believe that someone has been brainwashed to think that you should work for a company that doesn't give a rat's what about you? And you're gonna do it like a slave mentality? And you're gonna show up like a good boy or girl and get your paycheck? Guess what? Jim Rohn taught me, and it really got me pissed. He says, when you receive your paycheck from your employer, you're telling them, thank you, this is all I'm worth. Now let that sink in. Thank you, this is all I'm worth. Because you've got your belief structure so screwed up that you think you're supposed to exchange your time for money, that you fear-based yourself. And then the poor other middle-class people around you told you, oh, businesses don't work, they're all scams. Go watch all this on YouTube to see, I told you all these scammers are out there. And they brainwash you to think nothing's ever going to work for you. Sounds to me like you need to get some new friends. But what you can't do is you can't get rid of your dreams, but then you gotta get them off of being dreams. You gotta get them to become a reality and put a deadline to it. So the first thing you gotta do is sit down with whoever you have in your life, that if someone lives with you, you just gotta let them know things are changing for me. I'm no longer, write this down, I'm no longer gonna live like this anymore. I'm not going to Costco on Saturday. I'm not going out Friday night. I'm not doing anything anymore. I'm gonna start building a business. And I don't wanna hear anything out of your mouth about whether or not this is going to work or not. What I need you to do is I need you to just give me an opportunity to give me some time, because you may not see me for another year or two the way you see me now. It may be 5 years. I'm going all out and I'm gonna make my business go. So what does that mean? That means you're gonna be working some evenings. Let me tell you what I did when I wanted to go and change my life. I had to be at work at 8 a.m. I got up at 4:30, 5 o'clock, and I did phone calls 6:30 in the morning, 7:30 in the morning, hit the road, did a call on the way to work. And at lunchtime, I didn't go sit with all the broken down people that were my coworkers that wanted to bitch about the boss. I went out to my car and did more appointment confirmations and did more calls. And then I'd hurry home and eat a real nice fast dinner that was healthy, maybe a protein shake, maybe a chicken breast, or whatever I meal planned, got it down, made no excuses, and got on the phone till midnight, sometimes 1 o'clock in the morning. Got right back up because I'm jacked up about where I'm going. I'm not tired. I'm not sleeping a lot, but I'm not tired. I'm going to the next level. When I got in that movement, that momentum really kicked in. And it didn't matter what got in my way, I just made it happen. Saturdays I worked, Sundays I worked, it just didn't matter. What mattered is I got focused, laser focused. Now what's gonna happen to you if you have a girlfriend and you're a guy, or you have a boyfriend, you're a girl, is people are gonna feel like you're abandoning them. And you gotta sit down, you gotta talk to them. I'm not abandoning you. I want a better quality of life. I don't like what's in my checking account. I don't wanna have no safety in my life in the future. I wanna make $1 million. I want to invest it. I want the right house. I want the cars. I want private school for my future kids. I want to put myself in position, and I got to do it, and I got to do it now. And if someone doesn't allow you to do that, I hate to break it to you, get rid of them. They're not going to contribute to your life now. They sure as hell ain't going to contribute to it if you ever marry them. And if you're married to those people and they're Debbie Downers and you don't have any kids yet, get rid of them. It's time to go to the divorce court. And I'm not one to go for the divorce court. My grandparents were married 75 years. My mom was married with her second husband 30 years. I mean, my mom's brother's been married for 45 years. We all come from very longevity in marriages. But if someone doesn't contribute to the health of your mindset and allow you to get the job done, you have got to dismiss them. So it's all about having the mindset of being healthy when you're building your business. So you're gonna have to sit down and write deals out with your families, boyfriends, girlfriends, friends, because a lot of friends are like, come on, let's go out and drink, let's go down and eat, let's talk and BS down at the bar or at the restaurant, or let's go to a movie, or let's go out and do this and that. Things have to change. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You gotta change your life. The first thing you gotta do is get personal development in your brain every single day, 7 days a week. We're not gonna get into that today. So let's discuss a work-life balance. It's real simple. There isn't one. Someone tells you there is, they're lying to you. There's no such thing as a work-life balance. It doesn't exist. You hear all these progressive liberals who are like, okay, so here's how you do a business, and here's how you are a friend with somebody. Come on, let's get real here. Grab your balls and do some business. It's gonna be a long road. It's gonna be long nights, early mornings, and you're gonna be excited the whole entire time. You're changing your life. And you're gonna have people start going your way with you. So you're gonna have your center of influence with you. You're gonna have people that you never thought were possible around you. Things are gonna start changing. The people that were once around you aren't gonna be around you anymore, because what you like to do is not what they like to do anymore. Now, let's discuss, if you're starting to make money, why you shouldn't be, this is for guys now, why you shouldn't be chasing women. 100% of your focus should be on building your business. And what happens with guys' egos is they start feeling like they're the man. And when you couldn't get a woman to go your way, when you had no money, and now you got a little coin, and now you maybe got a nicer car, and now you can eat out at a restaurant on a Friday night, and now you have interest of a woman. You don't have an interest of a woman. You have interest of the money, but your ego doesn't know how to differentiate between the two. So what do? You feed the pig. You feed the fuel of the fire. Your ego knows, no, you're the man. So then you start doing the weekend trips with the girl, so you can get some free booty. Then you start doing the dinners, the purses, the shoes. Before you know it, you're 10 grand a month in, 5 grand a month in, $2,000 a month in. Your focal point is not in growing your top line revenue and using that money to anchor down your business. Because just because you're making $100,000 a month doesn't mean you're gonna make $100,000 a month when you don't work. See, there's what's called forced volume in business, which is when you're in building mode. And then there's stable volume in business, which means once your business has matured, whether you work or not, that volume continues to come in because you have real customers. In the beginning, you can make $100,000 a month, and if you stop, it goes down to 10. Because it's forced volume. Everyone's pushing and lots of advertising. You're building the brand. You're getting lots of sales coming in. Everyone's cashing checks and everything's unbelievable. Your job is to reinvest in the infrastructure, not invest in your ego. But do you know how many men I've seen do this and tear down their entire business? It's mind-blowing. You let women play all these tricks on you. You know, when you start blowing the cash on the women, and it's not the woman's fault. It's our fault for investing into them. Then guess what they do with your mindset? They start playing games with you. They play what's called little girl. They start acting like a little girl instead of an adult. And you buy into it and you run to her rescue and you do the little things for her and you do all this bullshit. And now you're missing meetings. You're not investing in the infrastructure. Before you know it, you're losing your business. All because you want some ass and you want some girl to think you're the man. Don't be stupid. I see 9 out of 10 men that make money do this stupid shit. That's a lot. I've done it before, but I've had people around me that shook me, slapped me upside my freaking head. I'm not excited to tell you this, but when I had 4 jets, I was so focused on working that I'd tell my girlfriend, here, take the jet with your girlfriends, go to Vegas. I have got to work this weekend. And people would be like, are you freaking crazy? I would rather spend money with them having fun instead of me having to go do all that nonsense. I was making money. I understand reinvent. That's gonna be, listen. There's a time where you can have that kind of fun, but it's not in the forced volume stage of the business. It's in when the business is mature. So some of you are going, oh my God, I'm gonna work all these hours and never have fun and I can't spend my money. Didn't say that. But you're gonna spend 5 or 10 years building up your brand, reinvesting, taking little bitty increases in your lifestyle. Yes, absolutely. If you're starting to get off the ground and you got money coming in within the first year, I expect you to get a little bit better place to live, a little bit better car so you can smell the leather in the seat so you reinforce your belief. But I'm not telling you to blow all your money and live check to check or half of your check to check. It's stupid. And then you guys go down to these clubs and blow money on tables and take girls girls do the same thing. They blow their money on dating as well too, or maybe taking their girlfriends out or getting a stupid purse. Do you realize, ladies, if you're watching, think about this. Just think about this. You guys like Christian Dior. Do you know Christian is the name of a first name of a man? Dior is his last name. And you're gonna give the man $5,000 for his stupid fucking purse that he paid $45 to make, to walk around to let other broke people say, wow, you're dumb too? You spent $5,000 on that stupid first and last name's man's purse. Think about the brainwashing. Now, I like some nice shoes, some Ferragamos and stuff. I get it. That's a man's last name. Why aren't you wearing your first and last name shirt? Like, think about how we're conditioned and brainwashed in life. If you had $1 million in the S&P and you knew see, look, $1 million, you're gonna make $10,000 a month the rest of your life if you don't touch that million. Do you think you need a Louis Vuitton shirt to prove to other people you're a millionaire? Shit, no, you look in your account, you can put your shoulders back and walk the fuck in the room. You're a millionaire. You don't need to wear a shirt to get people to think you're rich, but you gotta get your laser focused on. I'm not telling you not to have fun. I'm telling you little bitty increments. Get rid of temptation. Because you know the thing is, we're human and temptation happens, and it happens a lot with money. But when you learn the fundamentals of business, you learn the fundamentals of life. I don't know if you're spiritual or not spiritual. I'm not a person that goes to church, but I definitely have a devotion to God every day. I definitely grew up in a church. Like my whole life, I grew up in a church. My grandma was a deacon of a church, packed medicine for the poor. I did all the things that you're supposed to do as a good Christian, right? And whatever religion you are, you know, do whatever you do as a good person for that religion. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of good things. If you need to get your ass in church, you might need to hear some messages. Or maybe get 1 or 2 friends and have a little Bible study. Not because you're a Bible thumper, because you need to get your message under control. You need to get on your knees and get in alignment with God, right? Or maybe you need to get your personal development going a little bit stronger. You need to do it 7 days a week, 30 minutes a day, take the notes. How can this help my personal life? And how can this help my business life? See, when you anchor yourself down, you get consistency. When all this money starts to happen, you're gonna have, the last thing I'm gonna tell you is the capacity for the money. You're not gonna give in to the chick wanting the purse. You're not gonna give in to blowing your cash and not investing it into the infrastructure of your company. You know when it's time to do the $500 steak dinner, when it's not. There's a time for all this. But there's not a time when you first start making cash, you gotta reinvest your money. You know how good it feels? In 10 years, just use me. as a testimony. Do you know how good it feels to be laughed at for 10, 15 years from my family and friends? And most of them aren't my friends anymore. Now, when you check in on them, all the nights and weekends I worked and they were out watching movies and fucking around, guess what? They're all broke. And I'm filthy stinking rich. And I don't say that to impress you, but I sacrificed my brains out to get here while everyone laughed at me. And I kept reinvesting and staying patient and reinvesting. And year after year went by. I took little bitty increases. People saw small amounts of change, not lots. When all my friends that were making the same amount of money had $50,000 a month mortgages, I had 10, I had 8. Putting money away, putting money away, putting money away, putting money away. Working on my business. So all I can do is tell you what I did. I can't be your financial advisor because they're professionals and they can help you better. I can just tell you what I did. You can use my story as a validation, but at the end of the day, what you can never do with my story is take it from me because I earned it. So it's kind of like that old cliche statement, like, what would you do if you lost everything today? Of course, I would restructure a business and take my fundamentals out that I learned over the years and start over, but it'd be a lot faster because I know what to do on a daily basis, a weekly basis, and a monthly basis. So because of that skill set, I know how to get it off the ground faster. But for you, it may take you longer because you haven't been there yet. And you want it to take longer so you get the skill set. So sit down, have a deal with your family, your loved ones, girlfriend, boyfriend. Just say, listen, I've had it. I don't like where I'm at in life. I'm gonna change my life. So thank you very much for tuning in. I hope this has helped you. It's okay to have these conversations. We'll talk to you guys next week. Listen, if you've not subscribed, subscribe now, hit the bell, make a comment if this has changed your life. Tell me a little bit about it, the notes you took here. We'll see you next week. We're very consistent at dropping new podcasts. I'm getting very close to start interviewing people now, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.